guys, how are you today? We all believe we know what real love is, but what about universal love, that familiar, best feeling that we consciously probably never had? It's the incredible feeling that you will never forget, and it's beyond us. It's not this earthly love, it's like you just met God himself. Joe Dispenza felt it, so let's hear how it feels like. Subscribe for more videos like this one.
It turns out that the signature of the quantum field is greater and greater degrees of oneness and wholeness, right? So think about it. When we live in stress, we live in separation, right? Because our senses fool us into believing you're there and I'm here, and everybody is separate from us, and everything is separate from us. That's 3D reality, right? But as you start opening the center, all of a sudden, when you become nobody, no one, no thing, nowhere, and no time, right? That's the moment that your consciousness lines up with the consciousness of the field. That's when you are totally present. Now, here's the deal. If I can get people to believe that just because they can't see something doesn't mean it doesn't exist, if they can just connect and pay attention to that field and stay present with it and become more aware of it, moment after moment after moment, every interaction with that invisible field, every experience lays down new circuits in their brain for them to perceive more of it, right? So then as they keep their attention on it, they start moving closer and closer to it, so they experience less separation and more oneness and wholeness. So then when that happens, there's a cascade of all kinds of physical and chemical and energetic things that begin to happen. So for me, the best way that I can describe that field is intelligent love. It's greater levels of order and unity and oneness. And when you strike it and you hit it, it is the most incredibly electric feeling you will ever have. It is the most familiar, unfamiliar feeling you will ever have. You will swear that you are ancient in that moment, and you will connect. And it won't be just like love for your puppy. You will feel it in every single cell of your body. And I mean like a vibration, a coherence, where your body becomes electric. And the only way we can describe that is love. You taste that one time.
You want it all the time.
Well, here's what I say. I always say, the first time it happens, the first time it happened to me, and every time since, when I come back to my senses, I always say the same thing. Joe Dispenza, you got this all wrong. Because some veneer, some conditioning is lifted. You start realizing that the way you think life isn't that way. So now, when I've had those moments, Louis, I have said, there cannot be any more love than this until the next experience.
Next time.
I mean, how much is there, right? I mean,
wow.
You get super humbled.
When was the last time?
Ooh, about 5 days ago. Yeah.
What was the moment?
Ooh, I just had a very profound message. I was. I'll tell you the short story.
And how often does it happen? Also,
I don't know. I mean, I live for them.
Yeah. So you try to do it every month if you can. Or weekly.
I just do the meditations, and then when they happen, if I'm just in the right place and I don't have a plane to catch or an email to answer, and I have a little laxity and I can kind of surrender into the moment, I just I had this incredible. I don't know how to describe this, but there was a geometric pattern, like a mandala, I don't know what it was, and it moved right through my entire body, and it was like working with me, with my physical body, and if I could surrender to it, it was just incredible bliss. I mean, incredible bliss. I mean, I don't know how to describe it. And when that occurs, when it happened to me, I had this. My heart was just lit up, like it was an experience. It wasn't a physical experience, you know. It was from within. And here's the weird thing: every time it happens, my heart just feels alive, like it lasts for days. Like the emotion from the experience lasts for days. And people are like, "What's up with you?" Like, what? And you're just kind of joyful. You got this big smile on your face. I just am so happy to be alive. So I think that independent of, listen, I now know, I mean, we've measured genetic changes, hormonal changes, neurotransmitter changes. We've measured immune system responses by trading fear for gratitude. We've measured gene expressions. We now know that people can signal the gene to reduce cancer and tumors, signal the gene to grow new neurons. We've measured this. Signal the gene for stem cells to go to damaged tissues and repair them. Oxidative stress gene signal. We've seen that in our students. Now, here's the deal. After all of those studies in the last 6 years, you can't tell me you're too old to do this work. You can't tell me that. We got people in their 80s doing miraculous things. You can't tell me you're too sick to do this work. We got people that were at the end of their life, stage 4, and turn that battleship around.
Wow.
You can't tell me that you had too turbulent of a past to do this work. People that were really rough pasts that are now free. You can't tell me you've never meditated before. With people who have never meditated before, the most profound mystical experience.
Wow.
You can't tell me you're too overweight, too underweight, too out of shape, too in shape. You can't tell me that anywhere, because all colors, all races, everybody can do it. That's the cool part about it. And when you get a community of people together, and you move them from one state of mind to another, there's this moment. And I can almost predict when it happens, the second or third day, where people just start hooking up. And then when they start hooking up, we're seeing now in our events. I mean, a lady that was blind from birth, 5% vision, by the end of the event was seeing. I mean,
wow.
How do you explain that? We had 3 people in the last 2 events that were deaf. They're hearing now.
Wow. People
with crutches that were limited or walking without crutches and canes, spinal cord injuries, I mean, Parkinson's disease, in a week. Like, that's got to be, like, it doesn't wake you up to what's possible. And you're witnessing a tumor on a woman's thyroid that was there at the beginning of the event, is gone at the end of the event. I mean,
wow.
Like, you got to scratch your head and just go, wow, reality isn't at all the way I think it is, right? And so there's this humility that comes, like, well, I don't know anything, but I'm willing to go down, push the envelope a little bit more. So we're only as good as our ability to execute this, right? But as we get better at it,
consistency of it too, yeah.
I'm all about consistency, and I'm be the first guy to say, do the blood test, do the scan. Let's do the test to make sure that it's just not in your mind, it's in your brain.
Yeah.
Let's know. So now the evidence then supports it, the testimonials support it, and all of a sudden people now are beginning to wake up to what's possible. And just like the 4-minute mile. The 4-minute mile was broken. Once it was broken, we pierced the veil. So we're just seeing now this same thing. We've pierced the veil, and people are just all in. They're not 50% in, they're all in, and my goodness, we're creating this kind of wake and momentum, but not just for healing, but for creating new jobs and new relationships, new opportunities,
abundance, everything, yeah.
Whatever it is that they want. People come to the work for all kinds of reasons, and I don't really care, but by the time they start doing the work, all they really want to do is give. Because when you feel so amazing and feel so great about yourself that you no longer want anything, the first thing you want to do is give. I mean, when we see that brain scan moving into coherence and those 2 hemispheres come together, and all of a sudden we see that heart just start going boom, boom, very orderly, and see the more energy going in the brain goes into super coherence. You can walk around and look at that person who's getting the brain scan, and there are tears of joy rolling down her face. She's feeling so whole that it's impossible to want. How can you want when you're whole? And then you feel like you already have it. You feel like you have it already. That's the moment the magic happens. So she's no longer creating from lack and duality and separation.
Scarcity, yeah.
Scarcity. She's feeling like it already happened. That's a very profound signal in the field. That's dropping a big stone in the water and it's producing some big waves.
And things are starting to manifest.
She's
attracting.
Right, yeah. Now she's drawing it to her. So then, if you're doing that, to answer the original question, is that then if you keep practicing that, then you've got to get up and maintain that modified state of mind and body your entire day. And it's just a practice. And as you do that and you start seeing all the fun things happening, it's not like, oh, I got to go create my life today. Right. You're like, I got to go. Because I don't want the magic to stop. So I just do it because I love the crazy, magical, wonderful things that happen that I would just never anticipated in my life. And so people are catching on to it, and they start coming for one reason, they want money or they want health, but it's not about your money, it's not about your health, it's not about your new relationship, it's not even about the mystical moment, it's about who you become in the process, because overcoming all those limitations to become somebody else, nobody can take that away from you.
Wow. And do you feel like you've answered those questions for yourself? Who am I? Why am I here? What am I doing?
Yeah, I think so. I think, though, that...
Was there questions you still haven't answered?
No, I mean, it's not that there's questions that I still haven't answered. It's just that I'm always changing my answers. Because even my definition of surrender, just from 6 months ago, is not even close to the same definition that I have today.
What's the definition now?
Well, surrender, it's just greater degrees of letting go and trusting.
Everything.
Well, just like when my world is going sideways and my staff is just freaking out, I'm always like, I'm just going to let go. I'm not going to control anything. They're like, what? The ship is sinking. I'm like, yeah, but I got to go against the chemicals, and I got to trust.
Because if you're going to stress in that moment and have anxiety, you're going to create more of that.
Oh, you're going to make things worse. So I just let go all the way, and you got to lay down the very thing you used your whole life to get what you want for something greater to occur, and that's not one bite, that's not one leap. It's a practice. And so letting go a little bit more and trusting. If you over surrender, that's lazy and lethargic. Right. If you over intend, that's trying and forcing. So there's this razor's edge between intention and surrender, right?
Wow.
You got to be able to
take action.
Right, yeah, right.
Surrender.
Right. But you don't want to get in the way, right? So, and that's just it's a lot of trial and error, but you figure it out, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you feel like your mission is right now, then?
Wow. So for me right now, my passion are these week-long events.
How many do you do a year?
We do about 10, just a little less than once a month, around the world, and it's usually about 1,000 people. And now what we're doing is we're doing this whole nother level. We're doing two really cool things. One is a challenge activity. And what I want to do is, we now know that our students can create a lot of brain and heart coherence, but they can do it with their eyes closed in a room with 1,000 people and soft music playing, and they feel safe. But now let's get them in a situation where that would normally elicit fear or some emotion.
Get them in the real world.
Get them in the real world and get them up somewhere where they're feeling a little uncomfortable, or they're being challenged through endurance. And let's see them create brain and heart coherence right on that spot. Like this is the moment. This is your life. Like you got to be able to do this right now. You can't say I can't. It's too hard. I can't do this. I'll start tomorrow. I don't want to. That's not the moment. That's what you do in your life. Let's put you there. And instead of just white knuckling and pushing through, let's get really conscious.
Surrender.
Let's get really present. Yeah. Let's create that heart and brain coherence, and let's work it. And then make the move when you're in that state. Rhythm through that resistance. Create that kind of coherence. And I was just at the HeartMath Institute, who we partner with, and Doc Childre, the guy that created HeartMath, he said, it's all about rhythm through resistance. It's about that ability to create that kind of internal order when there's chaos going on around you. So what's the relevance of that? A person who's going through a challenge activity that's a huge obstacle course, and they have the belief that they have a spinal cord injury or they have MS or Parkinson's disease, and they never try anything in their life, and we got them up there. And there's people rooting for them, and they're in that state, and they're in that heart coherence, and they go through that whole course, and they've overcome it. They're going to walk back in their life, and whatever challenges that they have, they're going to be like, there's nothing. Yeah. I've just reset the scale. So, and the other thing is that people move past where they normally can go. There's a liberation of energy. And that's available energy that just needs to be organized. So that they start organizing that energy, then they're doing magic. The other thing we're working on is non-local healing, what we call the cage. We get a person to lay down with a health condition. We get 8 people around them. We teach them about energetic coherence. We talk to them about the science that it's not matter that emits a field. It's the field that creates matter. Change the field, you change matter. We give them the science and the understanding, and then we let them go. And we have seen people all kinds of healings take
Wow.
place in 10 minutes. Like, how do you explain that? How do you explain a person laying there who isn't even being touched and their entire body is moving in all these different directions with energy? It's incredible.
When you feel that real love, that universal and familiar feeling, your body instantly starts to recover. Your life gets better. You're finally human. We can get there with practice, as NEWJoe Dispenza is teaching us. Then you will have the right idea what to do in life. You will feel love for everyone, and your life will become blessing for you and all the people around you. I hope you like this video. For more videos like this, subscribe and hit the bell button. Leave me your comment down below and have a great day.